We are finally hearing from Oscar and Grammy winner Jamie Foxx after his mysterious health scare, saying he has been to hell and back. Foxx said on social.
Just one day ago, on November 14th, 2025, the talented actor Jamie Foxx suddenly suffered a severe stroke, and he is currently receiving intensive care at a hospital in Atlanta, Georgia. Close sources from his family and medical team confirmed that his condition is still being closely monitored, with doctors working tirelessly to save the life of this Oscar-winning star. Join me as we delve deep into the details of the incident, from the first signs to the latest updates, and revisit the roller coaster journey of Jamie Foxx's life, the man who conquered Hollywood with his diverse talents, but is now facing the greatest challenge of his life. On the morning of November 14th, when Jamie Foxx, 57 years old, was at his private home in Atlanta, preparing for a normal workday. According to his daughter Corinne Foxx's account on Instagram, he suddenly felt intense dizziness, accompanied by excruciating headaches and paralysis on one side of his body. The family quickly called for emergency services, and within just 15 minutes, he was rushed to Piedmont Hospital, the place that had previously treated him during his health crisis in 2023. Doctors diagnosed it as a stroke due to cerebral hemorrhage, similar to the previous one, but more serious this time because it occurred suddenly without clear warning signs. Currently, Jamie is in the intensive care unit, supported by a ventilator and 24/7 heart monitoring equipment. The head neurologist at the hospital, Dr. Elena Ramirez, stated in a brief press conference, "Mr. Foxx is in stable condition but requires close monitoring. We are using advanced methods such as thrombolytic drugs and surgical intervention if necessary to reduce brain pressure." His family, including his ex-wife Connie Klein and two daughters Corinne and Annalise, are by his side praying for his recovery. This news spread like wildfire on social media just a few hours after the incident. The hashtag #PrayForJamieFoxx quickly trended on X and TikTok, with millions of fans sending well wishes from around the world. Hollywood colleagues also quickly spoke out. Tom Cruise, who co-starred with him in Collateral in 2004, posted on Instagram, "Jamie is a warrior. He will get through this. God bless." Meanwhile, Will Smith, his close friend, shared, "I called Corinne right away. Jamie is my brother. We have to stay strong." Even the current U.S. president sent well wishes through the White House, emphasizing that Jamie is an icon of the Black community. According to reports from the Alzheimer's Association, an organization Jamie has supported, repeated strokes can lead to complications such as permanent brain damage, hemiplegia, or cognitive decline. Just one day after this latest stroke, the situation remains tense. Doctors say he is being treated with anticoagulants and continuous MRI monitoring to prevent recurrence. Corinne updated on social media, "My dad is a warrior. We are praying every minute." Jamie once said in a 2024 interview, "Life is like a piece of music with highs and lows, but I always play it to the fullest." This is not the first time this 57-year-old artist has faced harsh adversity. Let's look back at the tragic life journey of Jamie Foxx. From the losses of childhood to the silent battles that have shaped today's Hollywood icon. On December 13, 1967, in a small Texas town called Terrell, with a population of just 14,000 people, a baby boy named Eric Marlon Bishop was born. No one in that small town could have imagined that this child would one day become Jamie Foxx, one of Hollywood's most versatile entertainers, an Oscar, Grammy winner, and the highest-grossing box office star of all time. But the journey from Eric Bishop to Jamie Foxx wasn't a fairy tale. It was a path filled with pain, abandonment, searching for love, and ultimately, redemption. This isn't the story of a star born into glory. This is the story of a child abandoned by his biological parents at 7 months old, raised by his 60-year-old grandmother, growing up in a segregated town, and struggling with unanswerable questions. Why didn't they want me? What did I do wrong? Daryl Bishop and Louise Annette Talley Dixon were both very young when they had a child. Too young. Too unprepared? Daryl worked sporadically as a stockbroker. Louise was a young girl who had been raised by her aunt and uncle, Esther and Mark Talley, because her biological mother was too stressed raising her other children. When Eric was just 7 months old, his parents' marriage ended. But it wasn't just divorce. They abandoned their child. Both of them. The mother looked at her infant son and realized, I'm not ready for the responsibility of parenthood. Madi. The father, who later changed his name to Shahid Abdullah after converting to Islam, also left without looking back. Esther and Mark Talley, Eric's great-aunt and great-uncle, though technically his mother's aunt and uncle, stepped in. They didn't just help temporarily. They formally adopted this 7-month-old baby. Esther Marie Talley was 60 years old at the time. 60 years old and starting to raise an infant. Most people at that age are thinking about retirement. Esther was starting motherhood all over again. My grandmother was 60 when she adopted me, Jamie later recalled. She ran a kindergarten and had a library in the house. She saw me reading early, saw I was intelligent, and believed I was born to accomplish really special things. Terrell, Texas in the 1970s wasn't an easy place for a black child to grow up. The town was strictly segregated. Black neighborhoods, white neighborhoods. No mixing, no equality. Just invisible boundaries everyone knew not to cross. Eric Bishop grew up in the black section of Terrell. Mark worked yard jobs. Esther ran a daycare from home and did domestic work for others. They weren't wealthy, but they had love. And for Esther Talley, love meant discipline. When I acted like a fool, she would whip me, Jamie admitted years later. She would whoop me, and she could win an Oscar for the way she whooped me because she was so good at it. But Esther didn't just hit, she explained. After every beating, she sat down and told young Eric why. She wanted me to be a Southern gentleman, Jamie said. She told me, stand up straight, put your shoulders back, act like you got some sense. The phrase, act like you got some sense, became the defining statement of Jamie's life. So much so that in 2021, he titled his memoir, Act Like You Got Some Sense. It wasn't just a phrase, it was the life philosophy that Esther had etched into her grandson's mind. Esther Talley was a woman of remarkable confidence. My grandmother was a confident woman, Jamie said. I think about what she had to endure in the 1960s when she started her own daycare business. She could walk into a bank full of white people and say, let me speak to so-and-so. She knew who she was, and with the love she and my grandfather gave me, she passed that confidence on. She enrolled Eric in the Boy Scouts. She took him to church every Sunday and made him sing in the choir. She started teaching him piano when he was just 3 years old. No secular music in the house. No uncensored TV. Everything was tightly controlled, carefully planned to shape young Eric into the man Esther knew he could become. But amid all that love and discipline, there was one question Eric couldn't stop asking himself. Where are my parents? Why didn't they want me? Eric Bishop was 5 years old when he discovered he was adopted. It wasn't an easy conversation. How do you tell a 5-year-old child that the woman he thought was his sister was actually his biological mother? That his grandparents were actually his great-aunt and uncle? That he was born but not wanted? I was 5 when I found out I was adopted, Jamie wrote in his book. The news about my origins was shocking, but it didn't crush me. But did it hurt him? Did it wound him? Jamie has never said that publicly, but throughout his life he searched for answers. Why? Why did they abandon me? Louise, his biological mother, would occasionally visit, and those visits were strange for young Eric. I wanted my mother to show up, but for a different reason than my father. She was so stylish and beautiful, Jamie told Oprah in 2005. We were country folks, but my mother was completely city. She had new hair, gold earrings, a Corvette Stingray. Louise brought her two other daughters on those visits, Deidre Dixon and Deandra Dixon. They were Eric's half-sisters, same mother, different fathers. And Eric connected with them immediately, especially with Deandra, who had Down syndrome. "I had an instant bond with Deandra," Jamie later said, "but each time Louise came, she left again. And each time she left, Eric wondered, why doesn't she stay? Why am I not enough?" His father, Daryl, was even more distant. Eric met him only twice in his childhood, the first time when he was young, and the second when Jamie's firstborn daughter, Corinne, was 6 months old. "I don't even really know what my biological father was like," Jamie admitted to Oprah. In that second meeting, Daryl, now converted to Islam and renamed Shahid Abdullah, told his son something Jamie never forgot. "I'm Muslim, and since you're not, I can't be your father." Religion was more important than his son. Faith was more important than family. That was the message Eric received from his biological father, and it cut deep. But Eric Bishop didn't let that pain destroy him. Instead, he found ways to escape it: sports, music, and comedy. At Terrell High School, Eric became a football star. He played quarterback and broke school records, becoming the first quarterback to throw for over 1,000 yards in the school's entire history. "I wanted to be the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys," Eric said. It wasn't an unrealistic dream. He actually had talent. But what made Eric stand out more than anything wasn't his throwing arm. It was his ability to make people laugh. As early as 3rd grade, his teacher used Eric as a reward. If the class behaved well, Eric would tell them jokes. "My natural talent for telling jokes was clear from when I was in 3rd grade," Jamie recalled. "It was a gift that Esther recognized and encouraged." After graduating high school in 1986, Eric received a music scholarship to United States International University, now Alliant International University, in San Diego, California. He studied classical music and composition, honing his piano playing and singing skills. But San Diego also gave him something else: the opportunity to try stand-up comedy. In 1989, Eric stepped on stage at an open mic night in San Diego, and immediately he knew he'd found his calling. He had stage energy. He had timing. He had an amazing ability to impersonate celebrities. But there was a problem. When he signed up to perform as Eric Bishop, he didn't get called to the stage. MCs thought he was white based on the name and skipped him, so Eric decided to change his name. He chose Jamie because it was gender neutral. MCs couldn't tell if he was male or female, white or black. And he chose Foxx as a tribute to comedy legend Red Fox. Jamie Foxx was born. Eric Bishop, the abandoned child from Terrell, Texas, had created a new identity for himself. Jamie Foxx quickly became famous in the stand-up comedy scene. His energetic stage presence, ability to impersonate stars like Michael Jackson and Bill Clinton, and unbelievable quick wit made him stand out. Within a year, Jamie was performing on Def Comedy Jam, the groundbreaking comedy show that launched many black comedians' careers. In 1991, Keenan Ivory Wayans saw Jamie perform and invited him to join In Living Color, the breakthrough comedy sketch show. Jamie joined the cast in the 3rd season and quickly became one of the show's most beloved players. He created memorable characters, did perfect impressions, and proved he wasn't just a stand-up comedian. He was a complete comedic actor. In Living Color ran from 1991 to 1994, and by the end of his tenure, Jamie Foxx had become a nationally recognized name. Hollywood noticed, and in 1996, Jamie got his own television show. The Jamie Foxx Show premiered on the WB network in fall 1996. The show, which Jamie co-created and produced, told the story of Jamie King, an aspiring actor from Texas who moves to Los Angeles to seek fame and fortune, only to get stuck working at a hotel owned by his aunt and uncle. This was Jamie's own life, fictionalized for television, and audiences loved it. During its 5-season run, The Jamie Foxx Show was the highest-rated series on the WB. In 1998, it earned Jamie an NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Actor in a Comedy Series. But while Jamie was at the peak of television success, he saw something else. He saw other comedians making movies. He saw Denzel Washington and Will Smith transition from television to film, and he wanted the same. He didn't want to just be a TV comedian. He wanted to become a real film actor. Jamie's first film roles were typical comedies aimed at urban audiences. Booty Call, 1997. The Players Club, 1998. Films like these gave Jamie work, but not respect. Hollywood still saw him as just a comedian, but in 1999, Oliver Stone took a chance on Jamie. Stone cast him as the shy young quarterback Willie Beeman in Any Given Sunday. This was Jamie's first real dramatic role, and he exploded. He proved he could do more than just make people laugh. In 2001, Jamie appeared in Ali, the Muhammad Ali biopic starring Will Smith. It was a small role, but it was another step in establishing Jamie's dramatic credentials. But the real breakthrough came in 2004. 2 films, same year, both career-defining. First was Collateral, Michael Mann's thriller. Jamie played Max Durasher, a struggling Los Angeles cab driver who gets hired for the night by a hitman, Tom Cruise, contracted to kill 5 people. Jamie delivered a subtle, captivating performance that stunned critics. He received an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor. But the second film, that one changed everything. Ray was the biopic of R&B legend Ray Charles, and from the moment Jamie Foxx was cast, everyone was skeptical. A comedian playing one of the greatest musicians of all time? That would never work. Jamie knew he had to prove them wrong. He immersed himself in the role. He lost 30 pounds. He studied Charles's mannerisms and musical style. He worked closely with Charles himself, who consulted on the film before passing away in June 2004. And Jamie did something very few actors could do. He wore prosthetic contact lenses that blinded him before filming each scene, leaving him completely blind for 14 hours a day. "I wanted to know what it was like," Jamie explained. "I wanted to understand Ray Charles's world." When Ray premiered in fall 2004, it wasn't just a hit film. It was a cultural phenomenon. And Jamie's performance wasn't just good, it was transformative. He didn't just impersonate Ray Charles, he became Ray Charles on screen. Critics couldn't tell the difference between Jamie and the real thing. Ray earned over $75 million at the box office, and awards poured in: Golden Globe for Best Actor, BAFTA, Screen Actors Guild Award. And on February 27, 2005, at the 77th Academy Awards, Jamie Foxx won the Oscar for Best Actor. He was only the second black man to win the Oscar for Best Actor after Sidney Poitier in 1964. And his acceptance speech was one of the most memorable moments in Oscar history. With red-rimmed eyes, Jamie stepped on stage and thanked the most important person in his life. First and foremost, my grandmother, who passed away in October 2004 at age 95. She was my first acting teacher. She told me, "Stand up straight, put your shoulders back, act like you got some sense." His voice broke. Tears streamed down. She's not here to see this, but I know she's looking down and smiling. Esther Talley had died just 4 months before Oscar night. She'd witnessed her grandson become a star, but she couldn't see him reach the highest glory. And that pain, the pain of losing the only person who truly knew him, weighed heavily on Jamie during his greatest night. "I remember those hands wiping tears from my face," Jamie later told GQ. "Those hands got me stuck at the coffin. I couldn't move." After the Oscar win, Jamie Foxx was on fire. He had 2 films scheduled for release in 2005, war film Jarhead, and Stealth, a blockbuster action-adventure. Jamie also remained one of the highest-grossing stand-up comedians in the United States, and in October 2004, he signed with J Records to release his next solo music album. Because yes, Jamie Foxx was also a singer. In 1994, he released his debut album Peep This, but it wasn't commercially successful. But with his newfound fame, Jamie's second album Unpredictable in 2005 topped the Billboard 200 chart. He collaborated with Kanye West on Gold Digger, one of the biggest songs of 2005. Blame It, from his third album Intuition, 2008, reached number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and topped the Hot R&B Hip-Hop Songs chart for 14 consecutive weeks. Jamie Foxx wasn't just an actor, he was a multi-talented artist. Actor, singer, comedian, producer. He appeared in Jarhead, 2005, Miami Vice, 2006, Dreamgirls, 2006, The Kingdom, 2007, The Soloist, 2009, Django Unchained, 2012, White House Down, 2013, Annie, 2014, Baby Driver, 2017, and Just Mercy, 2019. He was also Electro in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, 2014, and Spider-Man No Way Home, 2021. By 2019, the 120 films Jamie appeared in had grossed a total of $13 billion worldwide. He became the highest-grossing box office star of all time. But amid all this professional success, Jamie's personal life was more complicated. He had 2 daughters from 2 different relationships, Corinne Marie Foxx, born in 1994, with Connie Klein, and Annalise Bishop, born in 2009, with Kristen Grannis. Jamie never married. He dated many women over the years, Katie Holmes, most famously from 2013 to 2019, but he never took that final step. Perhaps because he saw what marriage did to his parents, perhaps because he feared abandonment, perhaps because he was so focused on career that he couldn't fully commit to anyone. In 2020, Jamie suffered a devastating loss. His sister Deandra Dixon, the one with Down syndrome whom he'd bonded with instantly as a child, passed away at age 36. Deandra had been Jamie's inspiration for his work with the Global Down Syndrome Foundation. She was his ambassador, his representative, his heart. "My heart is shattered into a million pieces," Jamie wrote on Instagram. "My beautiful, loving sister left us. She was the ambassador for a Global Down Syndrome and Special Olympics. She shined so bright. I'm so happy that heaven got you because you made everyone happy in this world." The loss of Deandra hit Jamie hard. She was one of the few people who knew him as Eric, not as Jamie Foxx. She was family in the truest sense, and now she was gone. But the biggest trauma was yet to come. On April 11, 2023, while filming Back in Action in Atlanta, Jamie Foxx suffered a brain hemorrhage that led to a stroke. He passed out before he could take aspirin. He was rushed to the hospital, where doctors told his sister Deidre that if they didn't operate immediately, they would lose him. Jamie spent 20 days in a coma. 20 days his family didn't know if he would wake up. 20 days the world held its breath. When he woke up on May 4, 2023, Jamie was in a wheelchair. He couldn't walk. He couldn't speak properly. He couldn't remember anything from April 11th. The next year would be, as doctors warned, the worst year of his life. But Jamie Foxx is a fighter. He went through months of rehabilitation in Chicago, physical therapy, speech therapy, cognitive therapy, relearning how to walk, talk, brush his teeth, relearning how to be Jamie Foxx. And miraculously, he recovered 100%. By December 2024, when he filmed his Netflix special, Jamie Foxx, What Had Happened Was, at the Alliance Theater in Atlanta, Jamie was dancing, singing, playing piano, doing impressions, everything people loved about him. "I went to hell and back," Jamie told the audience, tears streaming down his face. "You don't know how great this is." And now at 57, Jamie Foxx is once again facing the second great battle of his life. Will he have the chance to watch his daughters grow up? The chance to make more movies? The chance to laugh, to love, and to live? And we, the audience, the fans, the world, we all know one thing. We almost lost Jamie Foxx. We almost lost his laughter, his talent, his spirit. And now we hold our breath and pray for him once more. But within each of us, Jamie Foxx is still here, still dancing, still singing, still making us laugh. And that is the real miracle.